Welcome back to another episode of our Dinner Party podcast. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Keith.
We're the podcast that covers topics that you can cover later. Should we just get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right. Out of Honolulu, let's talk about Hana Kobayashi. The Maui woman, 30 years old, went missing from her family. She was supposed to go from Honolulu to LA to New York. She went missing, is back. Turns out, instead of hopping that plane to New York, she drove to Mexico, didn't tell anyone, but she re-entered the U.S., I think, last week. Her missing persons case is considered closed now, and she's back with her family. Just a small reminder, though, her father flew to L.A. to find her and did commit suicide.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So she's coming back to Honolulu, and I can't imagine the stress and just utter despair that family has gone through. And I mean, a matter of weeks. I don't think she was actually missing very long. I don't know that I have that details. But yeah, she's back stateside. Well, not really. I mean, yes, Hawaii is a state, but stateside, not really.
She's mainland.
No, she's not mainland.
Oh.
She's
in Hawaii back.
She's in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
She's just back in the U.S. Back in the U.S. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Wow. So she just didn't tell people she was going to Mexico.
Correct. So the plan was she was flying. So again, obviously Honolulu. So flying to L.A., then visiting a friend in New York, perhaps an aunt, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
Never showed up. Obviously, this alerted the family. They're looking for her. They're the ones that filed the missing persons report. Police did a little bit of digging. She used her passport to legally cross into the country of Mexico, which obviously shares a border with California and a few other states. And that led police to kind of, I guess they didn't officially close her missing person case, but it did kind of, the police put out a statement that said, people are allowed to go missing. Like, she's a grown adult. She doesn't have to tell her family that she's leaving or that she's going to Mexico instead of New York. They obviously encouraged her to reach out. Her family didn't really take that sitting down, as I think most families probably want it. Like, okay, She went to Mexico, but why didn't she tell anybody? Because she told us she was leaving. Why wouldn't she tell us, why wouldn't she just be honest? She's going to Mexico instead of New York, right?
Yeah.
Plus, she had made plans to meet up with someone in New York City. They knew she crossed. They didn't know what happened. They encouraged her to reach back out. Her dad obviously made it to LA. He was found unalived in a parking garage, I guess, at LAX.
That's wild.
So we do have a statement. We don't have a reason why she left, but we do have a statement from her attorney, Doug Kari. At daybreak on December 15th, Hana Kobayashi crossed the border back into the United States. I accompanied Hana as her attorney across the border and can verify she is safe. Her journey now is focused on her healing, peace, and creativity. Hana is deeply grateful to her family and all those who have supported her with kindness and compassion. Hana would appreciate respect for herself, her family, and her loved ones during this challenging time. That came from her attorney, which I don't know why she needed an attorney to come back, because I don't think...
That's what I was just thinking.
So, like, in some cases, like, there was that guy that left his wife for some woman he met on the internet, but he, like, faked his death. So you can definitely go to prison or, like...
Yeah.
I guess get a fine or whatever. Like, you can make issues for yourself if you fake a death. She didn't fake anything. She just flat didn't tell people where she was going, and she did everything legally. She didn't, like, sneak into Mexico. So I'm kind of interested on the lawyer part. Her family also had originally started a GoFundMe. They returned all the money to those who donated to help find her. So it's like all's well that ends well. But again, someone did, like, her father took his life. Like, that's so heavy. I can't imagine. I don't know what state she's in. You obviously you can't be doing well if you're like, oh, I'm just going to, like, go to Mexico and not tell anyone. But also, what a strange situation to come back. I don't know. Like, if you needed to disappear to Mexico, maybe just don't come back. I know that's dramatic for your family, but it feels like you were just playing hooky and you lost a really important family member over it.
I mean, she's got to feel responsible for what happened.
We're also, like, not even taking, like, we're not scratching the surface, because think about the Hawaiian culture, like, much different situation there. So I don't even know where, I mean, men are Not that women aren't important, but I think the leader of the household very much fell onto that man's shoulders. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
How old was she?
She was 30.
30. Wow.
So for sure a full-fledged adult, but I can understand why family would be concerned. They also had like a few conspiracy theories going where she was like roped into some green card marriage scandal.
Oh.
And I don't really know how they got there. But I love that the family came up with their own conspiracy theories. It's actually like a really good lesson on like sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. But that conspiracy theory, I know, roped in an ex-boyfriend.
Okay. So the green card theory was the family's theory.
Correct.
Okay.
So they felt like she had, even though she had entered Mexico legally, they thought maybe it was like not under her own will.
See, my first thought was that it had to do something with drugs.
Right.
Like,
we kind of always go there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, why lie about going to New York and then just go to Mexico?
I think that's the craziest part.
And why not like
that's what I'm saying. Like,
check in.
You told everyone a plan and then you deviated from, because that's honestly why they freaked out, right?
Yeah.
If you had actually just like pieced and didn't tell anyone, panic. But I feel like it would be different because it's like you deviated from a plan, and I think that freaks people out more.
I think something's not right. I think she's not right. I think she's hiding some details.
You think she is?
Yeah. Why would you just do that?
She's a drug pin.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that.
Drug mule?
It's got to be something.
Right. I always go to drugs first. Like, always. I feel really bad for saying this, like R.I.P. Kobe. But the first time I heard, because I did not hear like all the details at once, I was at work in, I think like the middle of Kansas, like somewhere weird. And someone was like, oh, Kobe's dead. And I immediately thought drugs. I was like, oh, he doesn't seem like a guy that would do that. Like, and then obviously it was a helicopter crash and way worse than anyone could imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do also kind of go to drugs first of like, what's going on? What are you doing?
I mean,
but why would you have told the family member? Because I think the family member in New York that she was going to go visit tipped them off.
Oh, yeah.
So why'd you do that? Like, hey, lie. She should have lied on some part.
Yeah.
That she did not lie on, and it caused chaos. Chaos down here, Tom.
I mean, she could have left out the other family member altogether and just been like, hey, I'm going to go.
She could have just said, I'm going to Mexico.
Yeah,
don't text me.
Yeah. Did she like...
She's 30. Like, literally, if you just wanted to be like, hey, I'm tired of all y'all, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'll call you when I get back.
Where'd she go in Mexico?
Now, I don't think Hawaiian culture would call for that, but
like,
I have no idea. We don't know.
We don't know?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We just know she got there legally.
Yeah, she's hiding something. Maybe that's why she has the attorney.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why do you need an attorney? You went missing, but you went like, why? Like, but you weren't really missing. You were only missing to your family. It's like,
and you she had her phone.
And again, the cops are like, if people leave you, you can't do anything about it if they're an adult. Like, it's not like a child. It's not like she was person snatched. Like, she left. She bought that plane ticket.
How long after her dad died before she decided to come back? How long was that? Like, she had to have seen that she was on the news, right?
So apparently she didn't know.
So she's going to tell me she didn't have access to her phone.
I think she like went off grid.
Really?
Is what happened. But no, we really don't know a lot.
She went on an ayahuasca retreat.
I mean, maybe her and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He should reach out to her. You know, I just feel like they'd have stuff in common.
A river monster. I don't know.
A river monster? What do you mean?
It's the wrong area. Wrong geographical area.
I don't know. I feel like river monsters are kind of anywhere you want them to be. I mean, rivers are all connected, right?
Because I think they go to like South America to the Amazon for the ayahuasca stuff.
Yeah, they do. I don't know where that grows. Is it down there because it grows there?
I think so. But I think they also have places you can do it in Florida.
I feel like you can get it in Mexico. Just seems like you could.
You probably
right?
could. You probably could. But I think the original spot's in South America somewhere. Some little tribe off the river.
Okay, so here's the only strange thing she sent a weird text to a family member, like while waiting on her, or like prior to leaving for New York, right?
Okay.
The last text message was alarming. She mentioned feeling scared and that someone might be trying to steal her money and identity. And that was posted to Facebook by a family member.
Well,
They hadn't
that's-
heard from her since, and they were obviously super concerned. So that is probably what, along with missing the flight, that would have done it. So maybe she had like a mental break.
Huh. That is, what do you call it? Not an interesting, another word for interesting text.
Concerning.
That, yeah, there's more, there's more
Chaotic.
to that.
Chaos.
Like, she, that, reading that or hearing that, it brings the drug thing back into play, I think. She's scared.
I mean, also though,
I don't
like,
know.
it could totally be drugs. Also, I mean, well, because drugs can cause like mental lapses, I would say. Because that's the text of a paranoid person.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the story of Hannah Kobayashi. We don't know more. I'm sure at some point a statement has to come from that family, but it also wouldn't surprise me if this story, much like her, vanished into thin air.
Ooh. When I first heard her name, I was like, Kobayashi, is that the hot dog's sister?
Stop. What if it is that family? Maybe.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's from Hawaii. I don't know.
I don't know.
Do some quick.
It's a great name, though.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
I immediately thought of hot dogs and Kobyashi when I heard her name.
Yeah, I hope they are friends. I don't know. Related. Nah, I think this would have got real big if they were related. Let's be real. Okay. All right. Well, that is the story of Hannah Kobayashi. You'll be talking about it at your next dinner party.
Sure will.